Digital transformation can be intimidating to many, and joining us today is a key player in the tech space who's been helping businesses across the Middle East hit their transformation goals using two simple principles: partnership and education. You're listening to Techforce Middle East, a new podcast celebrating trailblazers in the region. Today, we're joined by Mukesh Kumar, the Middle East Alliances and Channel Regional Vice President at Salesforce. Mukesh works with our amazing partner ecosystem across the Middle East region, helping over 1,000 individuals kickstart their digital transformation journey. But that's not all. We'll also look into the future with Matthew Lambert, Regional Director in Alliances and Channel here in the Middle East. Now, Matthew may not have a crystal ball, but he does have expert insight into how educational institutions right here in the Middle East are helping create the transformational leaders of tomorrow. But first things first, Mukesh, Matthew, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for having us here. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yes, thank you, Mark. It's great to be there, albeit from a very rainy England compared to your sunny Dubai.
Before we get into the crux of the podcast today, shall we start with a few rapid-fire questions?
Let's do it.
Mukesh, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, I tell you what, I've often thought about this question. I'd love to be invisible.
Matthew, your superpower?
Well, without sounding boring, I would be invisible too for the exact same reasons as Mukesh.
What were those reasons?
So that we could go in and see scenarios from all angles at all times.
Okay. Innovation or optimization?
For me, I would say innovation. Sounds more exciting, sounds very forward-looking, sounds more creative, and sounds limitless.
Matthew?
I would say optimization, because no one's actually reinventing the wheel ever. We're just enhancing the wheel, making it go faster. So I would say we always optimize.
Continuous improvement or disruptive innovation?
My view, again, following my theme of innovation, I say disruptive innovation, right? We're in that era of everything's possible, anything's possible. And with Salesforce, we know everything's possible with our platform. And we see that with our customer success story. So I am a firm believer of driving innovation.
Matthew?
I would do the optimization again, because for the same reasons as before, we're always enhancing and optimizing what we're doing, and actually working with our peers and our colleagues and our customers and our partners to basically make ourselves be the best versions of ourselves.
What's a general misconception when it comes to digital transformation?
So, Mark, I think the digital transformation is seen as a bit of a buzzword, is seen as a bit of a trend. I guess it depends on, as a business, how you view it. And there's no right answer here, right? I mean, if you look at the pandemic, what that caused was an acceleration of businesses wanting to change and evolve, i.e., transformation. And now that we come out of that pandemic, we're finding organizations, customers, actually, they want to keep on driving that transformation. They don't want to go back to the way things were, because it's now proven that you can accelerate, you can connect with your customers better, you can get a much stronger ROI. So I think the transformation, the digital transformation journey, is not just a buzzword, it's actually something meaningful, and it's something that's actually showing tangible benefits across multiple industries.
Matthew, what about yourself? What's a common misconception when it comes to digital transformation?
This is probably the biggest question I get asked most of the time, and I have most conversations about with my partners. I would say digital transformation starts with people. So we're in the technology business, and we talk about technology all the time. We talk about industries and different clouds, etc. But it's the people that actually transform the business. So if you bring the people on the journey, and one of our partners does a really good, powerful piece on this about it's the people first that lead everything else. So I say start with people, get them on the journey of what's happening and how they can improve their own continuous improvement, to go on to the previous question. And then you layer on the technology afterwards. So I think we talk technology first, we should be talking people first and how it changes their lives.
And can I just sort of underline, both those statements there? Digital transformation is a combination of, that thought leadership and technology. That thought leadership that Matthew's referring to, the people side, and the technology that's going to underpin that, that's going to support that, that's going to allow, the businesses to evolve. So it's a hand-in-hand operation.
Mukesh, what's one technology that's had the biggest impact on your life?
Well, Mark, believe it or not, right? I remember going to university and I didn't have a mobile phone. I had a pager. That was the only way I could communicate with my friends and family. And then all of a sudden, I was allowed a mobile phone. And since then, life has completely transformed as you know it. We do everything on a mobile phone, right? Whether it's sort of personal stuff, business stuff, interaction, communicating with your loved ones who are now millions of miles away. The ability to do that through a mobile phone gadget, which is also getting smaller, getting more and more convenient for us. And, I think when I look back at it, I just don't know how you functioned without a mobile phone. I do everything, using my phone. I run my business on Salesforce using my mobile phone. So I would say that for me is a massive, massive transformation in the industry.
I'd love to get into both your backgrounds, and I'll stay with you, Mukesh. Tell us a little bit how you got into technology and how you ended up in Salesforce.
Good question, actually, Mark. Not many people know this, but when I first started my education at university, I was thinking law or IT. And one advice I have for people is, if you're in that sort of conundrum, go for a work experience. And that's exactly what I did. I joined a law firm, and within the first 3 hours, I realized this is not for me. And I think with the whole noise around the millennium and the whole 2000 era, that was creating a lot of buzz in the marketplace. So my sort of interest was getting more towards technology. So my point being, I did a IT degree. After graduation, I joined a organization named Oracle as a business consultant, which was amazing. I worked with multiple clients across multiple industries. I really had an opportunity to actually get experience from different projects in different roles. Through that journey, I then worked for Accenture, which was again an amazing opportunity to be able to really work with some of the best clients in our industries. It was actually through Accenture when I remember I was asked to do a bid on something called SaaS. And I remember looking around thinking, what is SaaS? Software as a service. What is software as a service? And then once I started to do some research, I thought, okay, this seems to be the new trend at the moment. And that's when I came across Siebel On Demand and Salesforce. And through a lot more research, I then very quickly realized actually Salesforce is the number one player in CRM, software as a service. That then led me to join Salesforce as an organization. So my point being is that what started as a bit of a hobby, playing computer games, manifested itself into, I'll do a degree in IT, then became a graduate position at one of the best IT companies, then landing me with the best IT company in our field.
Mukesh, I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure I can imagine you as a lawyer.
I think I've got the suits for to be a lawyer.
You dress like one. Matthew, what about yourself?
Mine's a slightly different journey, Mark. So I went to university in Brighton, England, and then I pursued a career in the telecommunications industry in London. There's a little known fact. I actually had an interview with BBC when I was a student to be a presenter, which I would have loved to have done, but that was sadly not for me. So I took a job in telco, in sales and marketing for 20 years now. I know you can't quite believe it, but 20 odd years. And then I decided about 5-6 years ago, I was going to come to Salesforce. And I decided that because I'd watched their trajectory for the last few years. And one or two of the telco top players had moved to Salesforce, Leon Magnan, for example. And so I reached out to him and I got an interview with Salesforce. I went on Trailhead, I learned about Salesforce, and I basically got the job that same day of the interview, which is unheard of in Salesforce, as an AE. So I was nearly in the shoes of an AE until Leon and Tony said that I would be better suited to come into the alliances and channels, which has been a great move for me. So 20 years of direct sales and the last 5 in channel with Salesforce.
Both Mukesh and Matthew, both of you speak to a lot of our partners who talk to a lot of our customers. What are some of the key trends that we're seeing in the digital transformation space?
Yeah, so Mark, before I answer that, I guess if I just explain, what my role is, managing our partner ecosystem, essentially as an extension of Salesforce, right? We've got the amazing products and solutions, and we rely on our partners to work with us to essentially deliver customer success. And if I look at the Middle East market, it's a very exciting time for us at the moment, and it has been. We've been doing some amazing work with our clients across the industries here. And the one advice I share with my partners, and certainly the one trend I'm noticing, is industry expertise. Because customers are now more demanding of that knowledge, that expertise. So when you're sitting around the table speaking to someone from a financial services industry, or a healthcare industry, or a telco organization, you need to be able to understand and relate to some of the challenges the industry is facing, some of the opportunities, some of the best practices, some of the ways that we can drive innovation. And that, I feel, is what makes us relevant for customers. That's what makes them achieve success faster. And it's our job as a partner ecosystem to be able to build that knowledge, build that expertise, so that when we are in those conversations, these are relevant conversations, and how we map them to our solution, our product is secondary. The important thing is, how can we help our customers? And that only comes with industry knowledge.
It's really interesting that you say that, because we had Muhammad Abdul Rahim, ex-head of IT of Emirates Transport. And when I asked him, what advice do you have for youngsters graduating from universities and coming into technology? That's the exact same thing that he said. He said, be an industry specialist, speak that language, and then go and use that language. So it's really interesting that you say that. What about you, Matthew? What trends are you seeing in the digital transformation space?
Yes. So again, to give you a little bit of background, so like Mukesh, I look after our partners, but I've got the best job, I feel, in Salesforce, looking after our top 10 strategic partners in the region. And my role every day is to be with those partners, helping them move their business forward, move the dial forward, increase their knowledge, etc., deliver great delivery for end customers, great CSAT scores. What I say to my partners, to echo what Mukesh said, is about industry alignment, but it's about finding your particular space. So it could be on industry, it could be on particular personas. So we're now drilling down into the personas within those industries. Are you talking to the marketing director or the marketing C-level, or are you talking to a delivery C-level, or are you talking to a transformation project manager? It's about really getting into the nuts and bolts of the specifics of each customer and proving to that customer that Salesforce understands exactly not just the overall pain point, but the pain point for that persona.
Makes a lot of sense. During the course of the podcast series, I think I've said the two words digital transformation about 750 times. Is it a buzzword, or is it a genuine trend?
In my opinion, it's a genuine trend, because if it was a buzzword, it wouldn't be lasting this long. It would have, at some point, attracted negative publicity, right? But it's definitely a strong trend, because we are seeing the business benefits, the industry transformation, and better ways of working and efficient performances and processes being adopted across the organization, our customer organization, thanks to digital transformation. But I think in order for digital transformation to really be fully embraced, again, I'm going to go back to my previous comment around, you need to understand the obstacles of a certain industry. How do we go better? How do we go further? How do we do more with less, right? How do we become more efficient? So I think now is an opportunity for organizations to actually do a bit of an analysis of what's around them, what could be better, and what does future look like. And yes, this digital transformation journey is one opportunity that allows to attract resources, talent, to focus on these initiatives. Because without this, it'll just become another day in the life of, and that's something that we're challenging, because we want to improve that for our customers.
Matthew, buzzword or key trend?
Mark, it's a complete trend. I mean, I've been talking about digital transformation to customers when I was in the telco world, and then I come into the software world, and either industry, whoever you're talking to, we were used to dealing with spreadsheets and Word documents, etc. I now can collaborate with hundreds of my team, tens of my team immediately via all the different technologies that we have at our disposal. It's making us work twice as fast as how we used to work, and I really see that in Salesforce just for my day to day. How I collaborate with my peers, how we get things to market quicker, how we action marketing, how we deliver sales, the whole piece. So it's not a buzzword, it's very much real life, and it starts with people.
Mukesh, what's one thing that businesses need to be aware of when it comes to digital transformation?
I think they need to be aware of change. That change is coming, or change is inevitable, and really sort of looking around the business and understanding where do the employees stand in the next sort of 5 to 10 years. How can we get the most out of the employees to be able to drive that business? So, I think sort of that housekeeping starts from within, to identify, okay, where are those legacy processes which are maybe there for a long time, but not necessarily the most efficient way of doing things. Maybe it's slowing things down. Maybe there are better ways to optimize some of these manual interventions. So I think now's an opportunity for organizations to first look within and understand, okay, there's an opportunity that we need to embrace here. Second thing is, Mark, is, Salesforce does this very well, is we celebrate customer success stories. We want to amplify what we are achieving with other customers across our platform. We've done the hard work. We've delivered success. We've got the metrics. We've got the ROI to demonstrate that. Why would we not want to share that with all our customers? Why would we not? It's not a secret ingredient. It's actually a formula built on our platform. So I think now's an opportunity, whether you're a small organization or you've got thousands of employees. The benefit is, with our platform, you benefit from the same functionality, the same features. And one final point is, us as an organization, we are very, very strong on customer feedback, right? And we have 3 product releases per year. Those releases are not determined by just internal R&D. It's actually determined by what is the industry saying? What are the customers saying? We want to know their feedback. Their feedback is our gift. And we want to understand, okay, how can we, as an example, drive more innovation in our financial services cloud product for the FS industry, for the financial services industry. But that knowledge is going to come when we speak with customers, when we gain their feedback. We understand, okay, what and how can we do better than before? And we then bring that into our organization. We consolidate that into some richness in functionality, and we make that available for the industry, for all our customers. And I think that is the power of Salesforce.
The first thing you said was around change, and that resonates a lot. Many of the guests that we had on this podcast are on the front line of supporting that digital transformation journey, and they're facing a lot of resistance to this change. What advice do you have for these people who are facing that resistance to change from companies, partners, and so on?
Listen, when I speak to partners and they share examples of customer conversations, change has to happen. Change is inevitable. It's not like the old days where, you're a customer for life with one particular client. The accessibility to move to different suppliers, to different chains is very easy. So I think as organizations, they need to be cognizant. They need to be mindful of that, to hold on to your customers, to retain your customers. You need to keep on evolving, keep on giving them value. Right, and that's only going to happen if you're able to transform your front office interaction with the customers. Because essentially, the way we look at it, we put customers at the heart of everything we do, and that is our success formula. And our partners are doing exactly the same thing. So customers want to see real-time change. Long are the days where you do some coding in the background, which may or may not be noticed. Now they want real-time, agile changes right in front of them, where they can see a huge difference into their day-to-day life.
Completely agree. Matthew, I'll go back to the previous question. What are the things that businesses need to consider when they're on their digital transformation journey?
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Mark. So look, I'm gonna repeat some of the things I said before, and it's people. And as Mukesh just said, we celebrate our customers, and it's the very best way of getting the right end point for everyone. So if you think about it, no one likes change. Human beings, we don't like change. Any sort of change we don't like, okay? Some people are more adapted to it than others, but the reality is we don't like change. So you have to take these people on the journey. So you have to show them how it's working in certain organizations, in certain industries. You need to show them how it's improving their life, making their life easier and getting better outcomes. And when you do that and you bring the people on the journey with you, then you have a much better outcome and a much more productive outcome. So the obstacle is people. The challenge is people. The technology is being adapted all the time behind the scenes. We have the best technology. That's a proven fact. But we do need the people to be on the journey with us. And it's our job and our partner's job. And I think we do a very good job at basically educating about where the change is happening and where the change is best placed. That would be my answer, Mark.
Matthew, you're obviously a massive advocate of the people, and I think this is a perfect time to transition to some of the tremendous work that you're doing when it comes to learning, development, and education of the future of the Salesforce ecosystem, all the trailblazers that are going to come out of the universities that you're working with currently. Can you tell us a little bit more about that work that you're doing?
Yeah, I'd love to, Mark. I mean, look, like I said before, I've got the best job in Salesforce because I deal with our top partners. But about 3 years ago, IDC did a report that really resonated with me and my team. And it basically was saying that we're growing so fast at Salesforce. We're creating so many jobs in the ecosystem and so much work revenue. There's a skills gap. You know, we're growing faster than we've got enough people to do the jobs. And so the obvious place to find those is the new graduates, of the graduates of the future, the youth of tomorrow. And that's not necessarily just always graduates, by the way. It could be any person coming into the ecosystem. So I basically went to my bosses and said, look, I'd like to become a trailblazer for Salesforce. Trailblazer is basically where we get trained how to present our Trailhead University to students and actually to any sort of any non-Salesforce personnel around the world. So I became a Trailblazer guide about 3 years ago, and I went into the first university, which was RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology. It's a New York university based out of Dubai. It gives a New York qualification in Dubai for Dubai and Middle East students. And I went to meet the bursar there, and I got on really well, an Italian lady, and she said, listen, why don't you do a presentation to the students? I did that presentation, and we had about 100 students in the room, and the feedback was amazing. I got a major high from doing it. The students came and asked me a million questions. And off the back of that, we decided that we start taking some interns into our Salesforce partners. That has now grown from 3 years ago. I now look after 10 universities across 5 countries. I've delivered countless presentations, and I'm delighted to say that some of my colleagues, such as Valbona and other colleagues in my organization, have now started doing that for me when I'm not in the region. We've got our partners helping deliver part-time syllabus to the students. And the most important thing is we've got all those students using our free online university, Trailhead, to help them guide their way through the journey of Salesforce. Now, the benefit of that is very simple. It's what we call a win-win-win. The student wants the very best job that they can have when they finish their studies. So they're studying hard in whatever discipline they're doing. The university wants them to have the very best job. And of course, the university, that success is the best students having the best jobs globally. And success for us is filling that skills gap. We need net new resource into our organization. And whether that be into my partners, whether that be into our Salesforce customers, or whether that be into Salesforce itself, there's 3 homes for those students. And so it really is a win-win-win. It's been fantastically received, and it's snowballing across the region. I expect to have 20 universities by the end of this year. I expect to have about 3,000 students going on internships or training on Trailhead. And let's be honest, the key thing there as well, it's free. And if those students learn Trailhead and they take the time to take some of the qualifications that go with it, I will actually, and they get an internship with one of my partners, I will actually, Salesforce will give them an exam voucher worth up to $400 to take an exam that will then help them in any global Salesforce role. So it really has been an amazing success.
Matthew, that's unbelievable work. Mukesh, I know you want to add something to that.
Yeah, no, Mark, so you got to remember as well, across the Middle East, if we look at the partner ecosystem, we've got just over 185 partners serving the whole 6 Gulf regions. And between them, there's over 1,100 Salesforce certified resources. And those 1,100 Salesforce certified resources have just over 3,400 Salesforce certifications. So as an average, that's 3.5 certification per employee. So going back to the point that Matthew raised, this is a huge and a great opportunity for the students within the region to be able to not only upskill themselves in one of our amazing products, but also to find an opportunity across the partner ecosystem, because this is what we want to do. We want to give back to the community in this region. We want to be able to provide that in-country value with the talent that we're building through the universities. And and that's evident with the amount of investment and the growth you can see across our partner ecosystem. So I do want to also congratulate and recognize all our partners for their support on this.
Awesome. Matthew, staying with you, going back to you, excuse me. What's the importance of education when it comes to digital transformation? You talked about this win-win-win concept, but why is education so important?
I'll take you on a journey back from my own, when I got the job with Salesforce, if I may. So I'm a 20-year veteran of sales and marketing in a telco industry. And I decide I want to re-skill and go into the software industry because I can see the potential. Okay, so what I did was, I was actually, at the time, I was very lucky. I was fortunate to have run a business and had sold it. And I was doing some freelance consultancy. And I took a month to learn Trailhead, just myself on Trailhead. I downloaded the app and I started learning and I loved it. It had gamification. It was interesting. There were point systems. There were rankings. It was tiered and I could go into various different component parts. I could talk about if I was around sales and marketing, or if I was more technically minded, I could go into a fake organization and sort of start building code. It's an incredible tool to have. And it covers both education for ourselves, our own employees, and on our new products coming through. So how we learn at Salesforce is using Trailhead. We don't have instructors anymore. We learn real time on our mobiles, on our tablets, in an airport, traveling, in our free time, etc. That's what these students are doing now. They're learning whenever they can learn. They're enhancing their ability. And listen, we love learning, don't we? And we absolutely love it. When I go into a university, you can see the world is their oyster. And I get that feeling. And I feel like now, having had my career that I've had, I'm actually now working with partners and delivering some of that real-time information that I'm seeing with my partners into those students. But I'm also taking some of those fresh ideas that I'm getting from the students back into our partners. And so I would say personally, my own experience was I really enjoyed learning on Trailhead, and I can see tangibly the students love it too, because it is fun and it is engaging, and it also ensures that they have a career for the long term.
Mukesh, can you tell us a little bit about the partners that you work with, the relationships that you have with them, and their role in growing the Salesforce ecosystem in the MENA region?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Well, listen, partners are extremely important for Salesforce, not only because they help us connect with our customers, because they have the regional presence like we do, but also because they are investing in skills to be able to deliver customer success projects. And if I just sort of focus on the Middle East market as a whole, we've got some amazing partner ecosystem here. Partners who are truly invested in understanding how they can bring the best of our products and solutions to our customers. So, you will often see there are events being arranged. There are campaigns happening where customers and partners are getting together. And these are not selling tactics. These are actually workshops where we are trying to bring value to our customers, and it's our partners who are helping us amplify those messages forward. So, if I look at the growth, they are all growing tremendously. But why are they growing? Because there is more and more opportunity to work with our customers here. And, it's the one thing I absolutely love about our ecosystem is because there's so much we can do on the platform for our customers. This is not one of those where you deliver a project, you go live, and then the partner moves on to something else and the customer's forgotten about. No, we have this concept called, customers for life, and our partners fully embrace that as well. The other thing I want to highlight is partners are not just invested in building out a services business with Salesforce, they're also carrying forward our core values, which basically means trust, which means equality, and another example is our philanthropy model, which is giving back to the community. So one example is we have done some charity work within Dubai to give back, but it's our partners who are doing it with us, and the partners are now mandating that their employees take time out to deliver something for the community, to be able to help the community around them. And that is the power of our ecosystem. That's our partners working not under Salesforce, but actually side by side with Salesforce and taking some of those core values to our clients.
And Matthew, you work with a slightly different profile of partners. So same question to you. Tell us about the partners that you work with and some of the work they're doing here in our region.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. So Mukesh and I broke down the region, with Mukesh predominantly looking after our top GSIs and our media agencies, and I looked after what we called our regional system integrators. So these are the businessmen and ladies that are local to the region, that have become traditionally from sales background and have done very well selling, and then they start their own practices up. So they tend to be startups, and then they grow and grow and grow, and they become and have the same DNA of a global system integrator like a PwC or an Accenture. And the beautiful thing about that is, as you saw, Mukesh's background is very much, he's been in the software industry for sort of 20 plus years. I came from a different industry where I actually ran businesses. So we dovetail very nicely our skill set. He understands the Salesforce and exactly how we deliver and our ecosystem extremely well. And I understand businesses very well and how they run. So I sit down with my partners and regularly go through with their planning for their business. I go through their financials. I'll help them with their marketing strategy, their sales strategy. I'll help them with their operations. I'll enable them to basically grow their business in terms of their education of their staff. And of course, now with the university initiative I'm doing, I'm now finding them the net new talent for the future for them.
So Mark, one of the greatest things about our partner ecosystem is not just the fact that, they've embraced our products and solutions and they taking those to our customers with us to deliver a successful transformation journey, but it's all the other things they do outside of the business, which is following our core values. For example, building trust, building transparency, building customer success. But the most important one is our philanthropy model, the ability to give back to the community. And let me give you a couple of examples of that. In the last 2-3 years, we've done, I think, 3 VTO events, which is voluntary events for the local community here, where we've built toys for the children in refugee camps. We've built, healthcare sanitization products for women in refugee camps. We've built, a numerous amount of materials which are then exported out for those in need or the labor camp workers. Why? Because we want to help. And it's our partners who are helping us support that initiative. It's our partners who are driving these campaigns in the region, building out these sort of VTO opportunities, working with Salesforce, even working with their customers, and really taking time out and actually promoting and encouraging their own employees to dedicate some time to give back to the community. That, I think, is one of the biggest change and the biggest sort of benefit I see when I look at the partner ecosystem, is that it's not always about just business. It's about actually taking a step back. Actually, let's give back to the environment. Let's give back to the community. Let's help each other. Let's show that humane side of our sort of engagement. And we're going to see more of that. It's something that we're going to drive more and more into the region. And it's something I'm extremely proud of.
And this is a question to both of you. What's the most rewarding thing about working in the Middle East? I'll start with you, Mukesh.
Well, I think sort of I alluded to it, the fact that, we're able to do these BTO opportunities, giving back to the community. But if I sort of pick on something else that I find extremely satisfying, is the fact that how invested our customers are and how invested our partners are to help them. That is what I find amazing. The ability to go over and beyond to really help our customers. And whether you're a partner, whether you're a Salesforce employee, it's sort of working together and trying to drive a new change, a better future for together. And to be part of that journey, to be part of and witnessing that is something I think, is going to stay with me for a long, long time. And it's something I want to carry on doing. And it excites me. It's what I look forward to when I jump on the plane and come to Dubai or any other part of the Middle East, and it's something that I could see the benefits sort of being sort of amplified in the region.
Matthew, how about yourself? What's the most rewarding thing about working in our region?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Look, I think there's two key areas for me that I get the most reward from. One is the day job, right? One is the day job, which is basically looking after my top 10 partners and watching them grow and expand and get better and better and better at what they do. And that ultimately has a commercial angle. They are becoming wealthier as a direct result of that. They're employing more people. they're having better skills, and they are really going above and beyond where they've been before. And to see their personal growth for each of those owners that have done that journey and the work that they put in and seeing the fruit of those labours, that's a massively beneficial and thing that really gets me going and motivated. The second piece is the work that I'm doing with the students. That really is triggering in me at this stage in my career, probably a little bit of give back, a little bit of just enjoying watching the knowledge that you've got and the experience that you've had and imparting that to those students. I can really understand how important teachers are, both in schools and colleges and the tutors in universities. And I think it's our job, it's incumbent on us as a big employer, as a big name in the industry and a big employer and a leading light there, is to lead by example. And if we can give back and we can give those students a better journey that they may have had without some of that knowledge, fantastic. If we can take them onto a different route in their life and they can be very successful, fantastic. And also, by the way, we're also in those universities, all of those universities have alumni. And these are people that have been at the university and they've got jobs in other sectors, in other industries. We're now educating them also. So can you imagine, there's a whole workforce of people out there that are linked to a university that are now hearing about Salesforce, and then we're retraining them onto Salesforce. And let me go one step further as well. We've had several partners help us on this journey. EPAM, who bought CloudWorks, have helped us. We've had Deloitte in Jordan delivering for us. We've had EIT, who have done fantastic work with students and organizations in their home country. And a lot of these partners, they do work in their home countries. So EIT in Lebanon, Coburg in Egypt, Clouds Lab in Egypt, UBA in Jordan, Deloitte in Jordan, and it goes on and on and on. And every partner is willing to give back. And I think that's really motivating to me. So it's both commercial and it's that sort of giving back to the community piece.
I'll tell you what I find the most rewarding, and it's working with legends like yourselves. Mukesh, Matthew, thank you so much for joining today's show. You've helped us to demystify digital transformation and allowed us to be really optimistic about the speed and unpredictability of technological change and about the transformational leaders of tomorrow. And thank you, dear listener, for joining us on this episode of Techforce. I'll see you next time.